Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 and our chats with Emily as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson. We are in the Johnson edition. We turned out a poem 729, Alter When the Hills Do. Now, the key, of course, here is that there is an exclamation point after the word alter, and some have said that Emily could have as well put a exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, to make the point that she's in fact engaging in some kind of discourse, some kind of dialogue. Again, just to remind, this title of our series here is Chats with Emily, and this is one of those poems where Emily is definitely engaging in some kind of discourse. Now, before we get too far into this, I want to remind us of poem 268. Some of you will remember when we studied this one together. Me change, me alter, by the way, exclamation points after both of those phrases. Then I will when on the everlasting hill a smaller purple grows, at sunset or a lesser glow flickers upon Cordillera at day's superior close. Or maybe you'll remember when we did 537. Me, prove it now, whoever doubt. Me, stop to prove it now. Make haste the scruple, death be scant for opportunity. The river reaches to my feet is, yet my heart be dry. O lover, life could not convince, might death enable thee. The river reaches to my breast, still my hands above. Proclaim with their remaining might, dost recognize the love. The river reaches to my mouth. Remember when the sea swept by my searching eyes, the last themselves were quick with thee. And in the poem we just read, 537, it's thee. And in this poem, it will be sir. Now, it isn't clear who this poem is to. Many scholars think it's a Sam Boyle's poem. Could be another man in her life. She is definitely going to provide a certain kind of defiant tone. That is to say, she's going to argue, I am faithful. Now, our assumption is that you've been following our stuff at LearnStrong.net. Down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily's our playlist. I'm hoping you worked through our set of introductory comments as well as the preceding 728 poems. We just finished with 728, Let Us Play Yesterday. And if you have, then you will recognize that at moments in those previous poems and some to come, Emily at times will almost seem to be fighting, assaulting the argument that she is not faithful to whatever it is. It may be, of course, that she's talking to Sam Boyles about her poetry and the fact that she will not change her poetry. So the alter and the falter here may have less to do with Emily as lover and or special person, and more to do with Emily as writer. In other words, we know that there were a few people who told Emily that this stuff that you're writing, that you're sharing with us, I don't know about publishing it because it needs to be altered. And it seems to be here that she is going to make the argument, no, I'm not going to change what I'm doing or who I am. I'm going to leave it to you to decide how to read this. But I do want to point out that we have alter, exclamation point, falter, exclamation point, surfeit, exclamation point. Alter when the hills do, falter when the sun question if his glory be the perfect one. Surfeit when the daffodil doth of the dew, even as herself, sir, I will of you. Now, again, by the way, sir was originally, or there was a possibility of oh friend instead of sir. The poem is a direct response to something that has gone on before. Again, Chats with Emily is the title of our series for a reason. There's an engagement here. It's almost as if he says to her, I wonder if you will ever alter. And she says, yeah, I'll alter when the hills do. Again, we're back to hills and mountains and the like. And then the word falter, which is a different word from alter. Falter, that is to say, to somehow slip up. When the sun question if his glory, by the way, notice his and glory, both capitalized, be the perfect one. The key word of the poem that's not mentioned, obviously, is the word never. And then surfeit, that is to say, have enough of something. When the daffodil doth of the dew, the daffodil never gets enough of the dew is her point, right? And then all of that to say even, and by the way, notice the trinity of that, of alter, falter, surfeit. Doth of the dew, even as herself, dash, sir, dash, I will, dash, of you, capitalized, dash. Now, again, this seems to suggest that Emily is in some kind of contest, or maybe the exchange is jocular, maybe the tone here is ironic and funny. That is to say, I know I hear you asking me, have I had enough, but, you know, or am I going to ever change or whatever. But, of course, no, there's no chance of that. And I think that's the point in 2a. True, I was going to say true love will conquer or last or go through. And yet, it's not just love of individual. It's also love of one's ability, love of one's talent, or belief in one's talent. I think this is a poem about confidence more than anything, maybe, for Emily. At 2b, well, obviously the 3 exclamation points have something to say, as well as the question, as we said so many times in so many of these poems we're studying, who exactly is it she's talking with? Some sir, right? At 3a, I can't read this poem and not think of Shakespeare's sonnet 116, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. What is it that he says? Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never written or no man ever loved. That idea that love alters not, love falters not. And maybe we would say as well for Emily, the conviction that one has about one's artistic ability, one's artistic talent. It's always going to be in the back of our minds in our chats with Emily. What would Emily say about the fact that we are doing a series over all 1,775 poems? And what would she say about the acclaim that she now has as the most remarkable of poets, not just American poets, but actually world poets? What would she have to say about that? Would she say, I told you so? Would she say, wow, I can't believe it? I have a sense a poem like this suggests she would say, yep, I kind of had a sense. I wasn't going to change anything because what I was doing, I knew it. I knew there was going to be some group that would probably find it fascinating. Finally, at 3b. To what degree in your own life do you have enough confidence that you can say about whatever it is you are or whatever it is you do, no, I'm not going to alter. No, I'm not going to change. I'll change when the hills do. Thank you.